Hey, beautiful people. It's your girl, Dr. Shonna, and I am live. Today, we're going to have a conversation about Capitol Hill. And as you know, this is Mental Health Fridays, and there's a lot of crazy people out there today. So, we're going to have this conversation and what this all means. So, as you guys come in, just go ahead and let me know that you are here so we can go ahead and get this party started. I have to be able to see you all from a different screen because I'm using something new for the first time. So if you guys can hear me, just let me know. Oh, I see you guys are coming on through. That's so awesome. So hello, how are you guys doing? I guess my moderators are in here. You guys all look different to me today because I'm doing something different. So y'all gonna have to bear with me, but I have my whole lineup ready. I want to be able to give you guys your shout outs for the donations. So let's just go ahead and take care of some homekeeping before we get started. First and foremost, share the video. Share the video. Give the video a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up. And for my, 3 to 12 haters, go ahead and give the videos a thumbs down. Whatever you do, just engage with the video. That's all that really matters. Drop in and say hello. I see some of my members are on. I see Blue is on. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being members of the channel. I see Mo Plus 4 TV is on. I also see Gwendolyn is on. That's my moderator. You guys are so awesome. Dwayne is on. How you guys doing? Just Be Real is here. I'm glad you guys are here. Another thing I want you guys to do is to make sure you share the video. We have a DC native in the house, Official Alonzo. Make sure you guys share the video. We're going to have a different perspective. As you can see, I'm using something new. So I'm pretty excited because I told you I was going to do it. I was going to take some time. I was going to research some things and see how I can better my broadcast and share my screens. And I found out how to do it. Before we get started, let me just go ahead and give my shout outs to my donations that I received. As you know, I wouldn't be able to do this channel consistently without you guys. So you guys deserve the donation shout outs. Thank you so much for Antonio's donation. Jacqueline, you are beloved every day. Anwar, William, Rita, and of course, Black Mama. They are super duper awesome. Everyone is awesome, number one, but I want to thank you for that. And then I have another donor in which I meant to give a shout out before. And before we get started, I want to be able to do that. Thank you so much to Andre. Thank you for the good work with what I'm doing. And Paul. Paul pays me for the swear jar. I'm going to try not to swear tonight. We have a new member in the house. Thank you for joining the channel. I'm going to try not to swear tonight because, things are getting kind of crazy. They're going to shut us all down. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and give you guys a little introduction to what we're going to be starting with today. Oh, Lord. I'll tell you. Here we go. Let's get started. First and foremost, it's the first thing here. Let's go ahead with this. Paid for the women. And what they say, paid for the women where? What's the name of this place? They paid for the women where? Let me see. Paid for the women. Paid for the women. Oh God, Lord Jesus. I can't catch it. But nonetheless, I don't know if you guys know this, but let me go ahead and say this to you all. Donald Trump already planned for this day to happen. As you can see, thank you for that donation, Sid. As you can see, Donald Trump He loves his little videos. I don't know about you guys, but I follow him on all his channels. This man is so entertaining, stupid as hell, but so entertaining. And I remember before the January 6th ever started, I remember his video coming up in my YouTube feed and me checking it out. And the first thing I said was, what kind of propaganda this man is spreading today? What is he doing? So I already knew that this was going to be crazy because this has been planned. It has been orchestrated. It has been organized. And this was expected. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew this was going to happen. He didn't hide it. He talked about it on Twitter. He talked about it on YouTube. He talked about it on Instagram. There was nothing that this man did that was in secret. He put out his dog whistle, and he knew that his supporters were going to show up. He knew they was going to show up. So the question I started to ask myself, and I want to know what you guys think, but I started to ask myself was, if I saw this, all the politicians saw this too. Democrats saw this. Republicans saw this. Green Party saw this. Everybody saw this. Congressmen saw it. Senators saw it. Councilmen and women saw it. Everyone saw this. That's right, Political Lil. He made it very clear that he was calling for them to show up. We already know that when the election was going on, do y'all remember this, sisters and brothers? When the election was going on, everybody started to board up their windows. People were closing down their businesses early. People were in fear because they automatically thought that the Trump supporters was going to show out and show off if Donald Trump did not win the elections. So if they were all ready for the elections back in November, and he's putting out this video, we already knew that he was not going to leave without a bang. Come on now. Come on. I mean, I'm trying to talk to y'all. Donald Trump is a Gemini. And no offense to my Geminis. Where's my Geminis at? Show me here, Geminis, right? Just show where my Geminis at. I want to be able to say right now that Donald Trump is a Gemini, just like Nappy Yankee said. They didn't just show up, they showed out. That was part of the plan, baby. That was part of the plan. We already knew that was going to happen. He likes to make a scene. He likes the attention. He likes to be the center of the party. Why in the world did they think that this man was not going to show up and show out? Right? Why did they allow this to happen? Yes, like Insada said, the real setup is that they allow this to happen so they can bring in more new controls. That's exactly where I want your mind to go. That's exactly where I want your mind to go. I want you to realize that all of this stuff was staged. They knew that this man was going to act the fool, and they knew that his following was going to show up and show out. Somebody said Gemini in the house. We got a Gemini moon in the house. We got Linda here, the Gemini in the house. Look at the Gemini showing up. James Valentine is a Gemini. They're showing up. Now, y'all already know Geminis is the whole damn party in the bag. Y'all know that Geminis is a whole damn party in the bag. And sometimes, no offense to the Gemini, my bestie's a Gemini. Sometimes y'all say one thing today and tomorrow you say you didn't do it. And you didn't say it. I'm just saying. And sometimes y'all get excited and carried away. And y'all, even though your ear signs, y'all some emotional beings. Y'all don't care about anybody else emotions but your own. And so we already knew that this man was capable of it. We already knew that this man is like a little mini Hitler reincarnated. We already know that his follower is just as crazy as he is. We already know that this was going to happen. The question is, why did they allow it to happen? Why did they not take precautions? Why weren't the police stopping them from breaching, allegedly breaching? Because we already seen those videos. We already seen the videos that they were not breaching some of these barriers. We already seen that police officers were opening up the barriers and letting them in. Right? Look, he said it, I did it. He said Gemini describes President Trump all the way. Right? So we already know this stuff. Here it is. Here. Official Alonzo says Mayor Muriel Bowser called for the National Guard before the riots, but they didn't show up for some reason. Everybody was in on it. That's my belief system. Everybody was in on it. This is not an accident. And so the question is, why? The question is, what are they looking to do? What is going to come out of it? If any of you guys have done any of your research, you would know the history of how the Capitol police officers had first gotten guns. It's always been something that happened. I don't know if y'all remember the lady from Puerto Rico when she had stormed the Capitol, right? All that stuff happened. After all these incidents, a new law came about and caused changes, right? So what is going to happen as a result of this? They wanted this to happen. They wanted to make sure they incite fear, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, right? They want to make sure they incite fear in the American people. Patrick Allen says their white grievance is with the government and those who run it. They would have hog-tied Nancy Pelosi like runaway hog and took her hostage. They let this happen, and it was taking selfies. Absolutely. They absolutely were taking selfies, and they did let it happen. Right? But I have to be able to say this, that with everything that went on, not only do we know that they did it on purpose, I think they wanted to incite fear in the American people with intention so that we can get in our heads that the Republicans are bad. People like Donald Trump are bad. Just think about what's going to happen. Just think about what's going to happen. Not only are laws going to come out of this, but what's going to happen in future elections? What are they planning to do to put this in the people's head to get them? I'm telling you, listen, baby. Here you go, right here. Somebody said it. Here you go. Wait, not this one here. Not this one here, right here. We're losing our liberties. This is where I'm going with this. We're losing our liberties. But some people are not going to be able to see it. Because fear will have you want these new laws to come into place. Fear will have you want changes. Fear would say, we can't have no more Republicans. We can't do this. All these things are coming. You have to understand this. You have to understand this. When we operate out of fear, and something like this happens, this whole thing was staged. They knew it was coming. They knew he put out the cat call. They knew that he was leaving. Listen, that's the Gemini. He was leaving with the bang. He's a whole party in the bag. They knew something was going to go down because this man has been talking about it the whole entire time. They knew that whatever this man says, his followers will show up. Thank you for that donation, James. I appreciate that. Right here it is. Here it is. Not James. Thank you for that donation, but here it is. They are playing with the people psychologically to make them feel at ease. Right? To make them feel at ease. But why? Why are they playing with the American people to make them feel at ease of what? Whose plan is coming into play? See, I got to be able to say this. I know there's a lot of people that consider themselves progressive. They consider themselves liberals. And what's so crazy is when we when our community use these words, we want to call ourselves progressive, we want to call ourselves liberals, when we use this word, I don't think our community pretty much knows what that means. I don't think our community understands when white people call themselves progressive and liberals, what that means. We really do think that we picked the right party. We really do think that this is what we're supposed to do. This is how it's supposed to happen. And then all the headlines are saying it's still in our democracies. And we as a people are buying into it. There's a video out there. So SC is saying, so they are not supposed to do anything after this? I'm confused. Why are you confused? No one is saying they're not supposed to do anything. I'm saying we're going to have to help SC out. Y'all going to have to help me to help SC out. Because SC likes to write in all caps too. Maybe that's by accident, SC. I don't know. But SC, what I'm saying to you is we have to ask the why questions. It's not just, oh, so we're not supposed to do anything. That's not what I'm saying. You have to ask if they knew this stuff in advance, right? I don't think one person knew it, because if I knew it was going to happen, it was all over his social media. They all knew it was going to happen, right? Everybody knew this was going to happen. Everybody who knew it was going to happen on Capitol Hill had an obligation to the American people. Everybody, not just Republicans. Everybody knew that this was going to happen. Everybody knew it. My question is, why wasn't anything done? We have to first start there with the why. Why wasn't anything done? Not, oh, so they're not supposed to do anything? No one is saying that. The question is, why wasn't anything done? That's how we start to think critically, right? Why wasn't it done? That's where we have to first start, SC. And no, I don't think that you're a troll. I didn't say that you was a troll. I'm just saying that's where we need to start. Why wasn't anything done? See, I never go into anything in America, right? I never go into anything in America thinking that all of this stuff just happens just because. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So the question is, whose plan is going to be taken over, and what is it going to look like for all of us? What kind of liberties are we going to lose? Thank you for that donation, Sid. Sid is saying they want to make it seem like January 6th was when we lost everything, but it was really election day. This all started at election day. Absolutely. This all started at election day, right? At election day. And the plan was in motion since election day. So what I'm saying to you is we have Biden and Kamala Harris coming into the chair. We already know that Democrats was already in the Capitol, Republicans in the Capitol. We already have these bipartisan people there. Everyone knew this was going to happen. Why wasn't any steps taken? Why were guns not being drawn? Why wasn't the police that's supposed to protect Capitol Hill? Why wasn't they aggressive? Why wasn't they treating them like they were a threat? Why were they able to get to the Capitol building? Why were they able to climb the walls? Why were they able to break glasses? Why were they able to kill people? Why were they able to allow any of this to happen? Now, I'm not saying that we know what's going to happen. We have speculations. Like Roosevelt is saying here, Joe Biden going to take all Black people's rights away, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that a lot of the stuff that we already seen, and now people are getting excited. And the real question is, why? Why are you guys surprised? Why are Black people acting surprised too? Why are Black people crying about Capitol Hill? Okay, let me show you guys another video because I need y'all to really see this. Some of y'all already saw it because y'all sent it to me, and some of y'all did not. But I really need to know, why are Black people crying about Capitol Hill? Y'all seen this video here?
pieces of shit. I know. They really destroying our city. They're destroying the fucking city, and it's like nobody gets it. Next hour is Black Lives Matter. They got tanks rolling down Pennsylvania Avenue. But they let these fucking crackers take over the goddamn Capitol. That's true. What the fuck is that? It makes me teary-eyed. I'm just good. We couldn't even do none of that. We died. Get the fuck out of town. Treasonous pieces of shit. I know. They really destroying our city. They're destroying the fucking city, and it's like nobody gets it. Next hour is Black Lives Matter. They got tanks rolling down Pennsylvania Avenue. But they let these fucking crackers take over the goddamn Capitol. That's true. What the fuck is that? It makes me teary-eyed. I'm just good.
I can't. I can't. What the hell, Black people? It makes her teary-eyed. It makes me frustrated. Why? Why? Why was the guy in DC in the gentrified area that housed that was able to push out Black people from that area? Why is he yelling crackers and everything else down the street? And why is she even entertaining him? Right? Why is this happening? So here's what Ann's work is saying. She's right though. If there were a group of us up there, there would have been hundreds of arrests and people. That said, why is she crying? Okay, now here's what I wrote down. I want to be able to go over this. I don't know why some Black people are surprised, number one, that this is happening. I think that we need to get our priorities in order as people. This is nothing new. White people have been trying to take over the Capitol for a long time. America was built on violence. This is nothing new. They knew the whole world was going to be watching. This is nothing new. We understand that white Americans are shocked and surprised. We understand that there are a lot of white Americans who are disillusioned with the state of affairs in America. This is nothing new. So for me, I honestly don't know why she's crying. I honestly don't know why she stood there in her car and engaged this white man yelling. This is a white man's situation right here. Let them go ahead and yell and scream at each other. Let them go ahead and call each other crackers. Let them go ahead and get angry at one another. Let them go ahead and fight one another. This is their fight. This is their fight, and they have to have it. They have to have this fight out. So what I'm not understanding is, why are we crying? Why are we even engaging any of this? And I'm not saying that she's not right. I'm not saying that had that been Black Lives Matter, first of all, we would not be scaling the walls. We wouldn't even make it to the walls. We would not be uninjured. It would be more than 5 of us dead. Right? We already know this stuff. But for her to be out there crying, it's sickening. And for us as a community, in my opinion, for us to keep stating the obvious. Oh, had that been Black Lives Matter, had that been Black people, had we done that, why do we keep stating the obvious? The real question is, what are we going to do? What lessons are we taking away from this? And this is what I'm asking. So you guys, some of you guys, what lessons are we taking away from this? That's right, timeout. Timeout says this ain't none of our business. This ain't none of our business. So why are we making this our business? Why are our priorities mixed up? Why are we so concerned about what this means for democracy? I was listening to a lot of people, and this is what we're saying. Oh, what does this mean for democracy? This is outrageous. We're operating like a third world country. Let white people say that. Because for some of us, we have been in a third world country for hundreds of years. For some of us, we are at war every damn day. I say for all of us, but you know how some of you guys are. You act like nothing is happening to you because you don't experience it directly. But I'm just saying, we've been at war for a very long time. So why are we getting involved with these people's stuff? The only thing I want to know is reparations. That's right. We do got to pay attention. We do got to pay attention, Body G. But so the question is, Body G, what are we paying attention to? This is where we need to start getting into conversation, and we need to really start watching what they're doing, because I hate to say it, but white people don't do nothing by accident. Everything is a strategy. Right? That's right, Dylan. I agree with you. Dylan said blacks have been conditioned to save massa. Anytime we see them upset, we want to join in their conversation. Yeah, I know. They destroyed our city. Gentrification destroyed your city. What you mean? They destroyed our city. It makes me teary-eyed. What is she talking about? We should be really sitting down and analyzing what's happening here. We too busy caught up in just our own stuff that we don't recognize. When they start doing stuff, we ought to be nervous. I'm not saying scared. I'm talking about nervous to the point where we're planning. Because when they start fighting each other, and you know, when they start fighting each other, it's always about power. It's always about power and money. When they start fighting each other, I always ask the question, what does this mean for us? What does this mean for us? Right? What is Deborah saying? Deborah said we must be concerned because what happened is about us. They want to overturn our votes in the election and make our votes null and void. Deborah, if that's the only thing you're thinking about, and I'm not saying that what you're saying doesn't have validity. I think it's bigger than that. See, because we always keep saying it's about our votes. But Deborah, we've been voting for a long time and haven't been getting things in return. So who's the our votes? Are you saying black votes, Deborah? That's right, streaming for us. We are at the back of the line. So whose votes are you talking about, Deborah? Right? Right? Jay Collins says, Doc, you all don't understand. When the order is given, him and his caps, he like SC. They y'all like some caps. When the order is given, we are going to be the target. ADOS, Native Black Americans. So the question, Jay, is what is the order? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying this is how we ought to be having conversations. This is how we ought to be having conversations. You're saying our votes, right? But you gotta understand there's a progressive agenda going on. There's a liberal agenda going on, and we're so concerned about just our votes. We was just pawns in the whole game. So I don't think like that. For me, and I'm not telling you guys to think like me. I don't think about our votes. If we don't get strategic with our votes, that's all we are going to be is numbers. We have been numbers for a very long time. They have been using us as numbers for a very long time to push their agenda. So again, the question has to be asked. What is the new agenda on the table? What is going to be coming? This is a fight for power. But what is going to be the new world order? What is going to be the new power? What kind of changes can we look forward to that is going to stifle our liberties, that's going to take away our liberties? What is it that is coming down the pipe? Because still no one is talking about what they're doing for Black people. Still, even all of this has happened. All of this has happened, but still, what is on the table for us? Right? Yes, right. We have to have a plan B. And the question is, what is our plan B? What is our plan B? Somebody else is saying here, we need economic strategies. If not, the Latinos will take over. Baby, they're already more than us. They're already more than us. We at 13% or 12.5%, and they are at 18% of the population. I just want you guys to really think, because we get so emotional. Remember, this is Mental Health Fridays. We get so emotional and we get caught up with the scenes and we start responding out of emotion, where we got to be able to sit back and we have to be able to say, what does this mean for us? What are they trying to confuse us? All of this stuff is in the news now. They already knew this was going to happen. This is the scene right now. This is going to be the scene for a couple of days. What is happening behind the scenes? I don't know the plan A and the plan B, right? Who are going to answer your questions, Dr. Shonna? What is the plan A and the plan B? I don't know the plan A and the plan B. I know that I'm the kind of person, I didn't speak on this earlier because I wanted to see what was going to unfold. I try not to make predictions. Like when things like this happens and I'm seeing police officers opening up gates and letting people in, when I'm seeing them get into the building and they're breaking out the glass, when I'm seeing the lady, I'm going to show y'all the lady that was shot. When I'm seeing the lady that shot and there's police right there in the same hallway with them with rifles out, and everyone is already saying that, hold up, this is about to get serious. He got a gun. Everyone already saw this officer behind the other side of the door with the gun. Everybody already saw that. And there are police officers right there with the rioters. So why couldn't all those police officers, I'm going to show you, why couldn't all those police officers down the stairs contain the rioters? See, listen, I sit back and I watch, right? I sit back and I watch. Somebody says, plan A and B. Don't vote for people that jail us for one. Right? I sit back and I watch. And it ain't adding up. For me, it's not adding up. So the only question I want to know is, how is this going to impact us? See, when you think about what Neely Fuller says, and y'all know who Neely Fuller is, right? When you think about Neely Fuller made it very clear. He made it very clear. When you're thinking about the system of white supremacy, you shouldn't concern yourself with what white people do. White people are going to do what they do, right? You shouldn't concern yourself with that stuff. The only question you should really be asking is, how is this going to impact me? Because that's the only thing you should be worrying about. All this other stuff ain't got nothing to do with us. Them climbing the walls of the Capitol ain't got nothing to do with us. I just want to know, how is it going to impact me? Right? So I like this. I like what he's saying here. Oh, Keisha, I'm sorry. Keisha's saying that was a show of power and also showing they're everywhere. You know what I saw, Keisha? It was a show of power. And they are showing that they're everywhere. But this is what I'm showing. I listen to some of the things that our community say. And some people in our community, again, Mental Health Fridays, these emotions, we need to get these emotions under control because it doesn't help us to think critically. Some people in our community, they're ready for their fight. So they say. They're ready for their war. So they say. They're getting prepared for bloodshed. So they say. but we can't even organize and get on one page. What this showed me is once again, they all organized and they all were on one page. See, the media makes it seem like it was the Trump supporters was organized and they caught everybody off guard. That was not caught off guard. We all saw these advertisements. We all knew they was talking about January 6th. We all knew they were showing up. So why weren't the cops stopping them? Why wasn't this all planned? Why wasn't the National Guard there? They called the National Guard to Portland. Why wasn't all of this stuff already in play? Why weren't they prepared? Or did they not want to be prepared? See, that lets me know that they are still on the same page. Right. Right. Absolutely right. This is not our fight. This is not our fight, but that doesn't mean that we're not on a chessboard. Right. I think for the queen, I understand that things are unstable. I see where you're coming from. But for the queen, I'm also saying that it's not our fight, but it doesn't mean that we can't learn and prepare. We have to watch what's really going on. We have been fighting for reparations. We have been fighting for equal treatment under the law. We have been fighting for cops to stop shooting us. We all get fancy on social media. I've seen a lot of nice fancy things going up. You know, people like, yeah. And they got a lot of shares, a lot of likes, fancy things that people come up with. Like, we're not asking you to kill them. We're asking you to don't shoot us like you don't shoot them. Yeah, that's all fancy. But all of that nice stuff that we put on there, it ain't changing nothing. Is not changing anything. We've been arguing about this for a long time and they're not changing anything. They have already shown that their intention is not to change law enforcement to protect us. They already see us as less than human, whether they admit to it or not. Besides that cop that shot that one lady, now they're trying to make that lady out to be the martyr and the cop the villain, even though they were breaking down a glass. Right? Even though they were, let me bring up the video because y'all got to see this. We're gonna talk about her. This is the lady who was Ashley Bobbitt, right? That's her name. Let's go ahead and watch this thing about Ashley Bobbitt, who was killed at Capitol Hill. I'll let y'all be the judge of it. I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of it.
Sound like a fucking gunshot.
You heard them. You heard them. Right? You heard them. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. That's what it was said. He got a gun. And she still decided to go through that window. She still decided to climb through that window. Right? Savvy Me says Black people need to only pay attention to their oppressors and stay quiet like the oppressors do when our people are being gunned down in the streets. Defend your own. Right? And that's what we're doing here, Savvy. We are paying attention to our oppressor. See, I'm not saying you go out there. I'm not telling you share all these things and rest in peace and that was wrong. This officer, this, all that stuff. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that we have to really pay attention to what's happening here. Right? She went through that window. She got shot. We get shot every day. And we're not doing what we saw them doing. So again, how is this going to help us? We in the car crying, talking about the Maces teary-eyed. They destroying our city. They weren't destroying the city. They was destroying Capitol Hill. They weren't destroying the city. Capitol Hill. We're getting caught up in all of this stuff for what? Right? Right? Thank you so much for that donation here for Truth. Here for Truth says, don't let the monsters they throw at us distract us from the storm. It is the storm that will take us out more quickly than the monster. The storm is coming. So I agree with you. So the question I have for you here for Truth is, what is coming? See, we can't keep making statements like this and not being able to tell everybody else what's coming. What is coming? What is coming? What is coming? And that's what I'm asking. What is coming? Because for me, I just thought it was another day in white America. I'm just being honest with you. I just like, oh, well, okay, they're at the Capitol. I'm seeing them climbing walls. I'm giggling like, wow, they're out of control. I see them knocking down buildings and I'm giggling. I'm like, wow, they're out of control. Right? That's right. I'm quiet too, Keisha, and I'm asking questions, right? Or waiting patiently. Keisha said, I'm quiet and I'm waiting patiently. And so am I. And that's what we ought to be doing. I think we need to calm down. That's right, good body. So yeah, we need to focus on ourselves and liberating each other. This shit needs to come down. It will, and it will. We will need to start fresh and be serious this time around. But again, will we be serious? Will we be serious? I know everybody else is looking at this thing, but when I saw it, I was like, wow, look at them. Aren't they organizing again? Every last one of them was organized. The Democrats let it happen. The Republicans let it happen. Everybody was organized, but not us. We can't seem to get it together. Somebody said death is coming. Juan, death is coming for who? We're making these statements, but it's coming for who? And I'm not saying that you're not right, but who is it coming for? And that's all I want us to do, people. I want us to really stop just throwing these questions, these statements out there, and we got to really start thinking. So again, this person is saying a civil war is coming. Nikki, and what is the civil war fighting for? And who's going to be involved in that civil war? What is the civil war? This one says the vaccine is coming. So all of that just happened because of the vaccine? Right? Is all that just happened because of the vaccine? E. Jones is saying continuation of civil war between them. That's something I can agree with. Right? Trump was the white man's burden, not ours. That's something I can agree with. See, sisters and brothers, we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused. We got to stop getting involved with all of this. I see us on some of the blue check boule all on there talking about this. For what? The only thing I want to know is reparations. The only thing I want to know is what are we going to do? The only thing I want to know is how are we going to organize? Right? William is saying, y'all not seeing the signs in front of you. Again, what are the signs in front of us? What are the signs in front of us? Ain't no civil happening. This is straight theater, fam. They want to control people through fear. Again, If it's a civil war, what are we fighting for? What is the civil war over? What is the civil war over? Are you saying it's over reparations? You think they're fighting? Ain't nobody want to give us reparations. We still fighting them. The Democrats haven't said they're going to give it to us. The Republicans haven't said they're going to give it to us. So are we really fighting over reparations? Right? So you saying that the Civil War is staying white? This country is already staying white. Someone else says a fight for resources is coming. For what resources? What are they fighting for? Civil war is about white people fighting for their rights. What rights are white people fighting for? And I'm not being funny. I'm not being oppositional. I just want to know what rights are the white people fighting for? Thank you for that donation, John. John says that was just a test run. I think they got something worse planned. Look out on Inauguration Day. Possibly. But again, who's concerned by it? Is it for us? Brian B says it's to keep white supremacy intact. White supremacy is still intact. It's a system that keeps on working. It's already intact. See, this is what I mean when I say we start getting confused. We start getting involved in things that we don't need to be involved in. We need to just be figuring out what will come out of this. What new laws are going to be passed on Capitol Hill? And how will those laws impact us? We have to understand what will be the impact for the future. What would it look like for future protests? Because we're always protesting. Never did we do this, but we're always protesting. What would it look like for us? What would be the new laws about protesting? What is going to be the new strategies about protesting? How will homeland terrorists be profiled, if they would even be profiled? I'll tell you one thing for a fact that's coming. Let me go ahead and get this video up. I'm going to tell you one thing for a fact that's coming. Y'all going to see this one here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to tell you what's coming. I'll tell you what's going to affect us right now. We're going to have some major impacts. I need y'all to see this right here. Y'all know about this? I know some of y'all do. I know some of y'all know about this. Here we go, right here.
You will never again see a tweet from President Trump. A short time ago, the company suspended him forever. Here's what his account looks like right now. 88 million people following nothing. Everything he's ever tweeted or retweeted, removed. The company issued a statement explaining the decision was made due to the risk of further incitement of violence, following a review of recent tweets from the president. One of those tweets announced that he will not attend Joe Biden's inauguration. The other called his voters great patriots. Twitter sees both of those tweets as likely to replicate the criminal acts that took place on Capitol Hill. The suspension on Twitter, just the latest blow to a president facing growing calls to step down and threats to throw him out. Even the Wall Street Journal conservative editorial board saying it is best for everyone, himself included, if he goes away quietly. A rebuke in a paper owned by Rupert Murdoch, the founder of Fox News. In the last 72 hours, a wave of administration officials has stepped down. The departures, symbolic gestures largely for many who had stood by and defended the president throughout his term. Among them, the Education Secretary, Betsy DeVos, the Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, and former Acting Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney. NBC News reports his close aide, Hope Hicks, also resigning next week, but that her decision was planned before Wednesday's assault on democracy. Shepard Smith here.
Wednesday's Wednesday's assault on democracy. Who's democracy? So y'all think that this is just a Donald Trump thing, that Twitter just took away millions of his followers, banned them from coming over? They could have done that a long time ago. This man has been inciting violence for a very long time. This man has been saying unruly things for a very long time. This man has been saying offensive things for a very long time. This man has been sending dog whistles out to his people for a very long time. Now, all of a sudden, they're taking his account down. So you got to understand about this stuff. We got to wait. That's right. That's why Shiiba, she says, wake up and pay attention. Or she block, wake up and pay attention, right? I know myself says that they all see the writing on the wall. No one can survive when the country turns on you. All the writing has been in order. Let me tell you why this is a problem here. We're looking at it as they're doing this to Donald Trump. He's inciting violence. He has the dog whistle. If it wasn't for what he is doing, right? If it wasn't for what he was doing, none of this would have happened. Here's Jamie saying this was stage event from the higher up so they can implement new laws to shoot us on sight. They let the people they won't kill come, so then when we do for reparations, they justify to kill us. They're really killing us. They're really killing us, right? They're already killing us. Diana says, check the video, have the lady getting shot. One of the officers got up and gave the other officer on the other side of the door a thumbs up. Interesting. Thank you for that donation, Diana. Here's what I'm going to say to you guys. This is not a Trump thing. There's a lot of us on social media platforms that have a voice. Our people have been communicating, although we have some hiccups. We have a lot of hiccups in our community. You know, we're not unified in our community. We're not being able to pull it all collectively, but every day, every month, right? Every year, I see us getting better and better and better. And it's coming. It's coming the day that we all collectively come together. It's coming where the next wave happens and we have a great impact. And the impact that we're going to have is going to hurt pockets. Because we're not going to Capitol Hill, storming down the Capitol, breaking doors, hitting officers over the head, you know, shooting people, scaling walls. That's not what we're doing. When we're coming is going to come. So if you think by taking away Donald Trump's voice is only a Donald Trump thing, you're sadly mistaken. Because as of right now, the way a lot of us, not all of us, but the way a lot of us get information out to our people is through the internet. They shadow box our accounts right now. I already showed you guys, every time I get a warning, they let me know they're going to shut my account down. And it's little on me. I got measly followers. Little on me. I love every last one of my followers, but I got no big account. I'm not even on here every day. I'm not even talking crazy. I'm not even inciting violence. I'm not even speaking reckless. You guys have witnessed it all the time. They shut down my videos. They have suspended me. They have done a number of things. I already showed you guys the warning. This is my warning. If I get another warning, my channel is coming down. What did I do? Fu Manchu says the conscious community needs to do a purge, make way for real leaders. Right? We have to get it together. My email is askdrshonna@gmail.com. Askdrshonna@gmail.com. So they can shut down his account. And that's what they do on social media. When they shut down your account, there's no way you can get in contact with anybody. There's no way you can have a phone call. You can put in a dispute. And I don't even think they even look at a dispute. 24 hours later, they tell you, nope, don't matter. That is automatic. Ain't no way in the world, out of all of us, millions and millions and millions of people that use social media, you can just turn around and have a dispute 24 hours later and tell us, no, we're in violation. This is censorship at its best. Thank you for that donation. He says, white nationalism versus one world order according to military commanders I work for. It's going to be a new world order. Right? Thank you, Queen Mother. She put it up. Somebody said they shut Vicky Diller down last night on YouTube. She was on fire. Of course they're going to do that. This is about censorship. And that's why I say we have to be very mindful of what's going on here. We shouldn't get involved with them storming the Capitol. That's none of our business. But we need to be able to sit back. I'm going to say this and I'm gone. We need to be able to sit back and ask ourselves, why is this happening? And what is going to happen to us? So what are we going to do, people? What are we doing right now? We've been asking about the plan A and the plan B. We've been saying constantly, right? We've been saying, somebody says, Dr. Shonna, your crime is not marching to the Democrats' beat, Queen. Absolutely. I already know I'll get shut down for that. Y'all know I can care less. I talk about all those snakes. Every last one of those devils get it. No one is exempt. So with plan A and plan B, we've been talking about constantly that we need to have our own social media platform. We have so many different social media platforms out there, but yet and still, even though I'm on a lot of them, right? Even yet and still, collectively, we still have not gone over. Collectively, we still have not used our own. We're still using their platforms. It's already showing you that they're going to censor us. It's already showing it. Somebody says, get your passport. My whole house has passports. We travel every year. Why aren't we going over to our own social media sites? Y'all can put them in the link. Go ahead and put them in the link, the name of the social media sites. Why aren't we going over to our own social media sites? Right? You say we need our own political lil. We have our own. Why aren't we going over there? See, the only time we're going to go over there, and this is what I don't like about our community, we do things when we're forced. Why is it that we get so comfortable when we see the writing on the wall, we see the signs, but we're so comfortable? Why aren't we going over there? How many of you guys have accounts on any of these Black social media sites? How many of you guys? Let me know in the chat. Who has an account? See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Somebody says, get your guns up. Get your guns up. Now, I'm not in disagreement with you, but I'm going to address that. I think that that's reckless talk. Because there's going to be a lot of people in our community. They're like, yeah, we got to get our guns. We got to get our guns. We don't have the training. Right? We don't have the training. Our families are all broken up. Not everyone's household, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's not make it seem like I'm applying to everybody. I'm not applying it to everybody. We're not on one accord. We can't control our emotions toward each other. Come on, we have to have honest conversations. Honest conversations. We cannot control our emotions toward each other. We're saying get our guns up. We're still turning on one another. I'm on Black Enough too. That's right, Trina. We will be outgunned. We don't have enough guns. We don't have enough people. We're not collectively, we're not consistent on the things that we do. So Q, there are a lot of social media platforms. I'm on at least 3 of them. So for you to say that we don't have any, we do have them. The question is, why aren't we using them? We do have them. I'm on at least 3 of them. right? Designer says we don't even know what we're fighting against. We're saying get our guns up for what? What are we getting our guns up for? Right? What are we getting our guns up for? I need y'all to answer that. Because I think sometimes we get so like emotional, we just say these kind of things. It would be a disaster in some of our communities if we don't first discipline ourselves. Thank you for that donation, only solo. We're going to have to fight. Ain't no way around that eventually. Mark my words. Okay, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. The question that I'm asking you, only solo, is what are we fighting? What are we fighting? Somebody said we fighting ourselves. Somebody says a lot of us are too consumed with the daily challenges that come with being black in this country. Thank you so much for that donation, Michael. What are we fighting? For survival. We're fighting for survival. So the pioneers is excellent question, Doc, because most of these, ninjas ain't fighting. Most of these ninjas ain't fighting whatsoever. Come on now. We know half of them ain't fighting. We fighting for our survival. Somebody says we're fighting the system. Okay, so we're fighting the system. Are we going to kill who in the system when we get our guns up? And I'm not being a hard ass. I'm asking. We're fighting for survival. That's what one person says. And the other person says we're fighting the system. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Our power will only come if we unite. We have never been able to stand together for a long haul. We have become weak-minded and complacent, hoping someone else can do it for them. I'm just saying, I agree we have a lot of work to do because we have to be able to answer these questions. And that's all I wanted to do tonight. I just wanted to slow it down to ask the questions, right? Somebody says they ain't fighting. They're talking about fighting. But again, what are we fighting? The system, our survival. Are we going to start shooting the cops? Are you saying? Because let's play that scenario out. If you're saying because the cops are shooting our unarmed black men, so let's just play this scenario out. So we're all armed now. We all got our guns up. We're out there. The cop shoots somebody, so we're going to shoot the cop. Is that what you're telling me? Is that how this is going to look? I'm not being funny. I'm asking us to think critically. Is that how it's going to look? No need to be apologizing, Uncle Doug. I'm not saying that you said anything wrong, but on this channel, this is what we do. We try to think critically because no one is saying there's anything wrong. If you, I don't know if you're new to the channel or not, but the people here would tell you, I love guns. I'm not opposed to guns. I like to shoot. I like guns. But I know the gun is to protect my home and my family. So what I'm saying to you is if we're saying that we're going to be fighting the system and we're going to be fighting for our survival, because that's what some people are saying here, and we're fighting for the system and we're fighting for our survival, when the cops shoot one of us on the spot, we're going to shoot the cop. Is that what you're saying to me? Then what's going to happen? Someone's saying eye for eye. What's going to happen? See, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Do y'all remember in Philadelphia, the move? And what did they do? How did they ramshack that community that still looks the same way for the most part? What happened? They went and they dropped bombs. They dropped bombs on those houses. Children were in there. Women were in there. They dropped bombs on them houses. So we got guns on the ground. What we got in the air? What we got in the air? They sent it from the air and blew it up. Boom! What we got in the air? Yes, they bombed an American city filled with black people, right? And it was a black mayor who gave the order. Absolutely, family. Thank you so much. Come on, family. Yes, and that was in Philadelphia. Come on, family. Okay, so here's what he's saying. I fly drones. And what are you going to do? And what are you going to do? Your drones cannot compare to a military drone, baby. What are you going to do? I'm not trying to be funny. Right? This is what he said. I can convert those to drop what I wish. Okay. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Somebody said we're going to church. I'm done. I'm done. There you go. Black people remember that they also dropped a bomb on Black Wall Street too. Come on, family. And again, and on Black Wall Street, we had guns. We remember we was protecting our home as much as we could. They was coming through. We was shooting their asses. And when they realized that we was protecting our stuff and we was taking out some jokers, they went in with what? Bombs. Bombs. Native Norb said the only solution is to turn to Africa immediately. Is that the solution for everyone? We've been saying that for a very long time. Right? Somebody said we can't F with the military at this point. We ain't ready. So all they want to say, people, is that we have to really start asking these kind of questions. What are we fighting? What are we fighting for? What is going to come out of all of this? How is it going to impact us? And are we ready? What are we fighting? What are we fighting for? What is going to come out of all of this? How is it going to impact us? And are we ready? Thanks for the donation. So are you saying don't fight back, just die? You ain't hear me saying that. I'm saying you got to have a strategy. You're not hearing me say don't fight back. I'm asking critical questions. And instead of us becoming defensive, we need to answer those questions. Instead of us becoming offended and defensive, we need to answer those questions. Because are you telling me the questions that I asked are not legitimate questions that we should be concerned about? Because if we all get guns and we just start shooting police officers for shooting us, and you know some of us are going to start shooting each other too. We're doing that now, right? So we're going to be killing off each other and killing off cops, and they're going to drop bombs on us. Are you saying am I being unrealistic? Do you not think that's going to happen? Do you really think that we can go up against the military, the greatest military in the world? Is that what you're telling me? Jim Joe says we're fighting against the politicians that have been in office for 30 plus years and have not once cared, I guess, for the people. They only cared about themselves. Now, I can agree with that. That is our agenda, and that's how we want our reparations. That I can agree with. Absolutely. We're following against those politicians, but we also are fighting against each other, because until we join collectively and stop being divided as we fight against politicians, nothing's going to change. We couldn't even get on point for this election. And we really do think that we did. A lot of people are just so super duper happy with the selection because it got the nutty man out the chair to put another nutty man in. And we still haven't gotten anything in return. So again, we're fighting the politicians that doesn't care for us, but we're all not fighting for the same reasons, because some of us are fighting for everybody else. Some of us are saying we got to fight for all equality. Some of us are saying we got to fight for everybody's equal rights. And others are saying, okay, we understand y'all got to fight. Go ahead and fight over there with that. We want our reparations. This is what we're fighting for. And we're not even on the same page with that. That's a good cop out. Those questions can be answered, but who will answer them on social media? Again, and I like the way you say that. I think that's a great cop out. Let me tell you why it's a great cop out. Because then the question is, where are we collectively organizing right now to have conversations? Not little small pockets. I know that I belong to a small pocket in Newark. You know, we're doing our best that we can, but we're a little small pocket, right? We're a small pocket, and we can't hold 1 million people. Hello? Hello? So again, even with just saying that, that's not enough. Because where are we organizing collectively? I agree with you, Shaka. So we need to get on one accord mentally, then surprise attack strategically. I agree with you. Michelle is saying nothing's going to change until we return to the laws of Yah. We are in a curse, and you cannot escape a curse. You must comply with your God. Right? Somebody says the F heck no. What are you saying that to? Again, we have to have our own space. I agree with you. Now, the critical question is, where? Where will our own space, because let me say something. Not only do we have to organize Black people here, we also have to organize Black people. If what you're saying is going to work, right? We got to organize Black people everywhere. Because somebody said the only way we're going to fix this is if we all go back to Africa. And let's think critically. Now, I'm not against anybody moving to Africa. I totally am not. But let's think critical. We all going to go back to Africa, where, number one, how are they doing with fighting each other? Number two, like, see, we all, people always say go back to Africa. And if you read some countries in Africa, a lot of them can be some very aggressive countries where they turn coups on each other as well. They kill each other as well. I mean, it can be downright vicious. And as long as white power forces and Asian power forces and Indian power forces are in Africa, I am not convinced if we went collectively there, it's going to be any different in the next 15, 20 years. And let me tell you why I say this. Because the Chinese have infiltrated Africa. The Chinese have taken over Africa. And if you think that the Chinese is going to be nice to us, we are sadly mistaken. Right? Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. So out of all the countries in Africa, which one are we going to? And will it be good for us collectively? Or is it okay for some of us that are spread out in different areas there? Somebody said being scared ain't going to get you anywhere but in a concentration camp, being somebody's slave. We're going to have to fight. We're slaves now. So you saying that to say what? And again, we're going to have to fight. What does that look like if we're not even organized? Family, I'm out of here. I ain't got nothing else for us today. Right? TV says we need to stop expecting the laws to protect us when we were never included in the law. We need a whole revision of the Constitution and laws, but equality needs to start amongst ourselves first. I agree with you. I agree with you. Equality needs to start among us first. We need to get it together. Kojo, where you from? Said China treats its citizens like shit. Well, we're talking about China being in Africa. How does China treat the Africans in whatever countries, plural, they are in? Somebody else says, no, 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 not going to Africa. We'd rather fight here. Know nothing about countries in Africa. Right? We need to see, this is the kind of conversations we need to be having. We need to be having these kind of conversations so that we can understand what this fight looks like. What are we fighting for? There are so many different things in this chat tonight. And other than saying we need to all pull together, other than saying that, we don't have anything solid. I think right now, I'm going to keep on fighting for reparations. I'm going to keep on advocating for reparations. I'm going to keep on making sure I vote in that order. Reparations first. Black first. Like I'm gonna make sure I keep on doing that. Right? Because right now for me, I'm not saying for anybody else, but right now for me, that is a solid plan for us to fight for. I think our ancestors deserve it. I think our ancestors will deserve eventually getting us to the point where we get what we need in order for us to start building. Right? I absolutely agree with that. But when we say we need our own space, we need to start thinking, what would that look like? Where will our space be? What are we asking for? Are we prepared for how we are right now? Can we get it? Or do we have a lot of work to do? Are we strategic with how we're raising our children? Are we strategic with how we're having our children go to college for certain degrees so they can get certain licenses? As long as we're on this land, we got to follow the laws of the land, right? And we're not sovereign. We're not sovereign. So as long as we're here, we have to follow the laws of the land until we get all the statuses and sovereignty we're looking for. Until then, we got to do what we have to do. How many of us are going to become doctors? We already seen what happened to Dr. Moore, right? How many of our children are prepared to become doctors? How many of our children are prepared to become lawyers? How many of our children are prepared to become engineers? How many of our children are prepared to take over the Capitol? How many of our children are prepared for the next presidency? How many of our children are prepared to grow food? How many of our children are prepared to build houses, to build businesses? And I'm not talking about opening business. I'm talking about actually go out there and build buildings and plazas and malls and become organizations that are across the whole nation and not just in your one little town. How many of our children are prepared to take on the next world? Somebody, I'm trying to get it. How many of our children are prepared to go into the building and construction trades? How many? None, because we're bottom caste. My daughter is considered the second one, the second generation, me being the first, from my mother's children, from my grandmother, from my great grandmother. So you have my great grandmother, you have my great great grandmother, my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, no college education, me, college educated, my daughter, college educated. So that's 2 generations out of 6. Right? 2 generations out of 6. And I remember when I did a video and I when my daughter first went into college and I said, I'm only paying for STEM. She already knows. You can get any degree you want, but if it ain't STEM, you paying for it. And you'll be graduated with debt. My promise was to get you out of college debt free. I did that. I sacrificed. I bought myself nothing for a very, very long time, because the focus is to get her into medical school, to become a doctor so she can get back to her community. And hopefully when she has children, she can teach her children to prepare for something else to help our community. So we know it's going to take a couple of generations to do that. But I remember when I did that video, and I remember how many, and I'm not going to be one of the boomers, but it was the boomers that said it. The boomers that said it, right? But I'll tell you one thing. The boomers came out and they said, she should be able to take whatever she wants, Dr. Shonna. We got to allow our children to be free so that they can be happy doing what they're doing. And you can do a lot with the arts. She can do, because I said, what's she going to do? Dance? That's what I said. Thank you for the donation. I said, what's she going to do? Dance? And they were offended. They were offended. Right? Offended at what I was saying. I said, really? So what's she going to do? Be the dance teacher? When we at war? We got a black doctor in a white hospital that was denied insufficient treatment, and she passed away. So what is dance going to do? Right? Silk Teen said, we are not teaching our children that. The same people in this chat talking shit are not teaching their children to prepare. Right? Somebody said, vote first on the list, then secure a nation state through the government, control municipalities. We'll be privy to stronger weapons, protect our interests. We need to be prepared. And it starts right now, and it's not going to happen in our generation. I'm telling you that. We're going to make some progress, but it's not going to all happen in our generation. You got to start focusing on your children, and you got to start raising them in a certain way. I say to you guys all the time, I see multiple races of clients, and it's, you know, the strongest ones I see that they just do whatever their elders tell them to do are my Asian clients and my Indian clients. Whatever their elders tell them to do, they do. They're in therapy because they're fighting being American, they're fighting being Indian, or they're fighting being Korean, and they have bicultural wars or tricultural wars going on within their heads, and they want to be independent, but they feel guilty if they turn against their elders and their ancestors. So if their mommy says you're going to be a doctor, they're going to be a doctor. If they say you're going to be an engineer, you're going to be an engineer. And what do? We tell our kids to take dance and basketball. Don't need no college unless they're going to be doctors and engineers. So who's going to be our doctors? Who's going to be our engineers? Who's going to be our lawyers? Who's going to be doing our presidency if we ever become president again? Who's going to be our psychologists who's only God knows we need them? And our other clinicians, who's going to do it? You do need college. Now, am I saying everybody needs college? I'm not saying that. Somebody said to me, hold on, Dr. Shonna, would you want your child to work in a profession they don't like? They don't got a choice. That's how I see it. We're at war. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? We need to get our minds right. We need to get our minds right. I raised them to know you got to give back to your community. So you got to figure out in what area can you give back to your community, because we are dying and we are hurting. And every time the money leaves our pocket to somebody else's community, we are signing our own enslavement. So we make these questions. Would you want them to work in a profession they don't like? You get a STEM degree, you can choose a lot of professions you like. What are you talking about? It's a lot of different doctors. There's a lot of different types of lawyers. There's a lot of different types of engineers. There's a lot of different types of computer programmers. We don't got liberty to be acting like our oppressor. We don't got the liberty. But we acting like we do. We're acting like we do. And this is what I mean. How many of you guys are programming your children in that way? My children didn't become 16 when we started this way. They were babies when we started this way. So they grew up in the STEMs. They grew up with the math and the science. They could not slack. They grew up with a second language. And Spanish was the choice. They could not slack in my house. How many of us are going into parenting that way? How many of us going into parenting that way? Thank you for that donation, Only Solo. We talking about, what you want your child to do? Yes, the answer is yes. We're at war. The answer is yes. What did Ramsey say? Doc, we need people to control the power grids and water treatment, fiber, optic cables, satellite controllers, everything, 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 everything. We are nearly the last in almost everything. Wait till this world gets even more computerized and you're not part of that programming. You're not part of that development. Them computers going to turn against your black asses if you ain't part of the programming. Man, look, I'm out of here. I love every last one of y'all. I'll see y'all Sunday. I'll see you Sunday. We're going to address the black community. I don't know what top I'm going to do right now to address the black community, but maybe I'm going to talk about parenting. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I know we need to shift our mindsets. We need to start preparing, not for this generation that we are in. Not even for our next children. We got to start preparing for our grandchildren, because we are behind the 8 ball. We are behind it. And you don't see what's happening with this new world order, if you don't see how black women are being elevated and black men are being stomped on and trampled on, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. We are at some serious war, baby. We are at some serious war. And if we don't start getting it together and teaching our children how to mate and how to court and get up together and who to have children with, we're in some big trouble, baby. Big, big trouble. But that's all I got for y'all tonight. Y'all have a great night. I'm going to see you all on Sunday. Be blessed. Peace.